Here we go. Welcome to this week's episode of Guardian and Gladiators. I'm your host, Lauzie, and always is my good friend D. How are you?
I'm good, Lauzie. How are you this week?
I'm doing well. Are you
Excellent.
ready for another road trip? But this time it's a big one.
I packed extra snacks and some beverages, and the more we drink, though, the more we'll have to stop to go to the washroom. So we'll have to have lots of little pit stops. But yes, this is a big one, isn't it? We're not just going
Oh,
down the
yes.
401 or the 400 this time.
No way. We're heading across the border this time into Colorado.
Yep. Did you get your test? Did you get your COVID test so you can get back again?
Oh, I'm going to try to get back in the 3 days.
It'd be cheaper that way, won't it?
Yeah.
All right, we have to drive fast because Colorado's a fair ways away. So yes, we're heading down to Severance, Colorado, which isn't too far from Denver, a little suburb there. And we're going to be meeting up with a father-son combination this week. And we're going to find out some great information from them. And there's a bit of a theme with a lot of the sports that our first guest does down there. And that's going to blend right into our second guest, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. A lot of talking about unified sports and how their programs work. And now we're going to, with our guest, our second guest is going to tell us how our unified programs work.
That's right. Jenna Smith joins us today, and we'll be speaking with her after we speak with Dan and Logan. So Lauzie and I will be right back after this. And when we come back, we will be south of the border. Welcome back to Guardians and Gladiators. And our first guest, we promise you an international experience on this episode. And here we are, the first ever international guests on Guardians and Gladiators, all the way from Severance, Colorado. And Colorado is a state in the United States of America, as I've been reminded here, because we Canadians apparently don't know our geography, and we make fun of the Americans for that. All the way from Severance, Colorado, we have Logan and his dad, Dan Friesen. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Welcome to the show.
How are you, Logan?
Good.
Good. What's the weather like there?
Cold.
Cold? Yeah. You had some snow already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. We had a little bit, and then we had rain, and it's not quite sure what it wants to do here, but you guys get lots of snow in the winter, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, we're so happy you guys could join us. As we say, this is the first time we've had any guests on from anywhere outside of Canada, so it's exciting. And our podcast is only about 7 or 8 weeks old. And we think this is a great opportunity just to kind of share with some of our listeners here in Canada if there's any differences between Special Olympics in the US as opposed to Canada. But I think what we're probably going to find out is it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So what sports do you do, Logan?
I do unified flag football, unified basketball, unified soccer, and I like to do those sports because I get involved with everybody.
Absolutely.
Nice.
You know what's go ahead.
We've been just starting getting introduced to unified sports here with our Special Olympics.
Yeah.
So we've been slowly catching up to the rest of the world, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, we actually our guest, our other guest on today is somebody who's involved with the unified sports here in London, in Ontario. And Lauzie had said it's been pretty new here. And Jenna is going to be joining us later. And she has started it at the University of Western Ontario and started the unified program up there. So it's just starting to take off. But it's great when we hear somebody like you, Logan, who is playing a lot of his sports in the unified model, which is great because not only get to meet a lot of Special Olympic athletes, right? But you're meeting a lot of other people in the community too, aren't you? So Logan, a couple of years ago, 2019, the International Torch Run Conference was in Colorado, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Was that kind of cool to be involved in something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. Did you play flag football that day as well? They had some football games going on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos that your dad's posted there of you playing flag football. There's some speed involved there. You're pretty quick.
Yep.
So I've been following some other people that I know from the US that are going to head down to Orlando for the 2022 US games. Are you going there, or do you know anybody that's going to be at the US national games?
No, I don't know yet, but I'm not going there because they only do 1 year, I think.
So he went to the USA Games in Seattle for track and field back in 2018.
2018.
He threw the
Right
shot
on.
put and ran some relays.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lottery in Colorado. So who can be on Team Colorado for the various summer games and winter games at that USA level?
Yeah, we were going to ask because we're curious as to how the difference in qualification is here. So Lauzie, you can speak to how it works here.
So here we go by stages. So one stage we will have a provincial qualifier, and then the year after will be our provincials, and then whoever wins there goes to the nationals for our nationals, and then from there we go to our worlds, to the worlds. So that's how we do it here.
So they actually have to qualify by winning tournaments in order to go there, where you guys are more, it's kind of everyone gets a shot at it through the lottery. Is that right?
You got to hit your qual, whatever they determine is the qual for that. So the distance, the time.
Right.
And then from there, if you meet that, say you get a gold medal at the state games for your division or your bracket, then you get thrown into a lottery. And, he lucked out back in 2018, and
yeah,
he got himself a free ride to Seattle, and actually did fairly well.
Yeah. What events did you take part in, Logan?
Shot put, 100, 200, 4x100 relay.
That's it.
That's it.
Probably have been easier if I asked which ones you didn't do. It would have been shorter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they got a silver medal in that relay, which was pretty
Nice.
awesome. They weren't the favorites in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
showed
excellent.
some real spirit and kicked some butt. So
Yes. That must have been fun, going to that, Logan?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, well, we have quite a little family here when it comes to qualifying for tournaments, don't we? So we have Logan, who qualified for the national games in 2018, and then we have his father, who was selected to go in 2019 to the world final leg, representing the law enforcement side in the torch run, right, Dan?
yeah, I was on Team 7 with a guy named Derek from London, Ontario.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
In the back of the bus with that sergeant.
I know that guy.
There's a lot of time on that bus, wasn't there?
So Logan was going to ask you, D. He was going to ask you, do you know what Dunkin' Donuts are? The little donut holes, the Munchkins.
Do you know why I know what they are? Because when I came to that international conference in Colorado, the guy who picked me up at the airport presented me with a little box of these funny looking Timbits with a different name.
Little box. That was the big box.
Ah, okay.
All right, I might have had a few before you get off the plane.
Either way, there was none left by the time we got to the hotel. So
Remember I was telling you about Timbits? Yeah. They're donut holes. They're Dunkin' Donut Munchkins. They gave him a Canadian name.
Well, you know what just came out? Funny, we're talking about Timbits. This week, they just released Tim Biebs, and Justin Bieber is promoting them, and they're Tim Biebs.
Oh,
Pretty
Yeah.
funny, eh? Yeah.
I don't know. Is he still welcome down this way? I don't know.
Do you know what? He grew up just about 25 minutes from here.
okay.
in Stratford, which is just a short drive from London. Actually, him and his mother lived in London for a while when he was a baby. So he frequented this area a lot when he comes back to Stratford. So there's been a lot of sightings of him around here.
So his singing voice and his dancing skills are all owed to a certain retired police sergeant?
I might have, I sent him a video once or twice, hey, you should put this on YouTube. You never know who will see it, right?
Figured you had multi-talents, my friend.
So Dan, I got to ask you, as the father of a Special Olympics athlete, how did you first become aware of Special Olympics?
Well, yeah. So honestly, I got involved in torch run before I even had Logan.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was with the sheriff's office in Northern Colorado, and they said, "Hey, do you want to help us plan a torch run to benefit Special Olympics in Colorado?" And I said, "Yeah, put me on that committee."
Yeah.
And so it sounded like a good cause. And at the time I was fairly new to law enforcement, and but yeah, so I kind of knew about Special Olympics and all the great stuff that all the good competing and sports that folks with intellectual disabilities and that could get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met his mom and met him, and then I got him as my son, and I said, hey, when he was about 7 or 8, I said, hey, you should start doing this. They got some good stuff going on here.
Yeah, that's great.
So
That's
he
pretty cool.
started playing basketball right away with just a local rec program.
Yeah.
That had an adapted sports program that did all the Special Olympics stuff. And then he decided he wanted to try some snowshoeing. So I coached him in some snowshoeing, and he was actually pretty successful as a little guy in that. So
Yeah.
And then obviously unified sports has been huge in Colorado for probably the last 10 years.
Wow.
And then in the last 3 or 4 years, it's got into the colleges.
Yeah.
So high schools have been big. Even the middle schools had a little bit. And now our colleges have it. So he's done with high school this year, and he's going to go on to that university level and still be a part of all the cool stuff that Special Olympics has.
Actually, yeah. Speaking of high school, I understand there was a graduation not too long ago.
Yeah.
You, Logan, graduated?
Yep.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on, buddy.
Thank you.
He got to go back for year 5, the super senior year.
Yes.
No.
We call it a victory lap here.
Actually get a super senior. I said, you're just going to go back and party. But actually he's in a job program, and he's doing some good stuff. So, but since COVID kind of messed up his senior year, we said, yeah, we'll give you a super senior year so you can do all the fun sports and hang out with your buddies in your leadership class.
Right.
He's also a singer. I'll send you a video. Sometimes he starts the basketball games, and I think he's more excited to sing our national anthem than he is to play ball. But
is that right? You're welcome to give us a little sample here, Logan, if you want. I'm not going to put you on the spot and make you, though, but if you want to, you're welcome to.
He's like a Colorado Justin Bieber, to be quite.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him, too.
My dad will send you a video.
Okay, fair enough. We'll do it that way.
Was your sports affected by like the pandemic that's going on? Like, did you guys get shut down?
Yes, we got shut down January 2020. We played basketball, and that's basically it for that year. And I played unified flag football, and that's it for the fall. Then the school year, like the year it got a little better of school. We did like unified basketball, we did in unified flag football, then unified soccer. Then the next year they said, oh, let's do all the sports regularly, like unified flag football, unified basketball, and unified soccer.
So they kind of tried to jam them all in at once before the COVID got bad, and then we had to take a break. So
we just started back slowly opening up our sports again.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been really cautious about getting them back out here. So they've had nothing for a year and a half, like absolutely nothing. So
Yeah.
they're just slowly starting to get back out there now.
Yeah, I was watching some of the other states up where our buddy Mark is, and yeah, I mean they're all on lockdown, and they've been
Yeah.
pretty fortunate as long as they played by the rules and wore their masks and in distance as well as they could. I think there was only a couple of us allowed to be in the crowd. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, they get to keep kind of rocking through it. They're
Good.
not as these tournaments aren't as big as they used to be. You know?
Right. Yeah. There'll still be a lot of people a little bit cautious about sending the
We'll
kids
bounce
out there right now. Yeah.
I'm sure Canada will be just like the States. We'll all bounce back and we'll be even stronger.
We're getting there. We think of where we were a year ago. We've come a long way. So
Oh,
a
Yeah.
year from now, be even better. So, yep, that's great. Well, guys, we've really appreciated you having on here. It's been excellent. It's great to
yeah,
get a
thank
different.
you.
It's great to get a different perspective and hear some things from different parts of the world. I think it's, I mean, Dan and you and I had an opportunity to be at something that was like worldwide and get to see how this affects everybody across the world. Sometimes we get kind of closed off in our own little area and we think that Special Olympics and it only benefits the people around us, but really the benefits are worldwide and the people that we get to see, enjoy being a part of this.
Absolutely.
From it.
Yeah. No, I think you and I both feel that and both saw that firsthand overseas. But yeah, no, it's definitely a worldwide movement. And I like to call it a revolution because I mean everybody should be able to play sports, no matter
Yep.
who you are.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's cool to have that and to be a part of this. So
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, you get to see both sides of it there, Dan, being on the torch run side of it as well as, being a part with the Special Olympics with Logan. So that's great.
well, and I make him do the torch run stuff too. I know he's probably done a half dozen torch runs and every polar plunge. You guys know what polar plunges are?
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
You guys
yes, we
have
do.
Yeah. Lozie here loves jumping in cold water. He's the first one to sign up every year.
But ours is different. The first year I did mine, it was mild out, wasn't it? Like at Victoria Park did one year.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, we had it right beside an ice rink, an outdoor ice rink. So it was kind of cool jumping into water and they're skating on the ice rink right beside it. So it was kind of a neat little contrast.
Then
But
the second year I did it, it was like a complete snowstorm. It's
It
like
was. Yeah, we had two plunges and the second one was about 4 hours later. And then the second one, we had to break up the ice on the top of it. So before everybody jumped in. So that made it a real polar plunge.
It sounds like Canada and Colorado are really dissimilar when it comes to polar plunges.
Yeah.
There's
It's,
all
sure,
kinds of reservoirs. Yeah.
it's not the Abu Dhabi dip. Let's put it that way.
No, we didn't need the green ice cubes. It's natural. Hey, do you guys still have hockey up there in Canada?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Do you? Okay. I've seen some of it on TV. I just was curious.
Yeah. You guys should try playing it at some point. It's a lot of
Actually,
fun.
I think Logan's first sport was street hockey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got the sticks, and in fact, his sister likes to play too, and they're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good at street hockey.
That was growing up for me, Logan. That was every day you'd run home from school and you'd have a road hockey game and your parents would call you in for supper. So your team would play one man short while you were eating. Then you'd run back out and you just went till they got dark and you moved the nets by the street lights. And that was every day up here. It's not like that now, I got to say. I mean, you don't see as much of it now.
No.
But yeah, that was every day, road hockey out in the street. Great.
I told him, I said, see, we can relate to this.
Yeah.
Canadian folks, they're good folks. We can relate to them.
Well, you guys have a guy playing for your Colorado Avalanche team there who's from London. Nazem Kadri got traded from Toronto to Colorado. He's playing for them, and he's from right here, London, Ontario.
Perfect.
Born and raised.
Logan events to a couple events where he got to play some floor hockey with the Colorado Avalanche.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Avs are really good to Special Olympics Colorado.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear.
Huh.
We had Lauzie here, our local team, the London Knights, played last Friday, and Lauzie got to drop the puck for the opening ceremony of the game. He was a Special Olympics night. So he was a superstar, so he hasn't shut up about it.
We could have Logan learn the Canadian national anthem, and we'll come up there and maybe he can do it.
You got it. You definitely, you're the singer. I'll have you do it for sure, Logan. I'll have to send you the words though. We've heard some Americans sing our national anthem and they don't know the words, so we'll send it to you.
remember what's the name? Roseanne Barb, 92 World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Wrecked our song.
A little bit embarrassing, yes.
Yeah, her TV show wasn't even that good. So.
All right. Well, I know you guys are off for a little trip for U.S. Thanksgiving, heading out tomorrow. So we wish you a safe trip. Enjoy the holiday. Have a great time. I know it's a big holiday there in the States, so enjoy it. We'll take advantage of the Black Friday sales up here, even though it's not Thanksgiving here.
You guys be safe and have a happy Canadian Christmas.
We will, eh? All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Christmases are the same, though.
Oh, really? You get Timbits in your stockings?
No. If you're good. All right. So thanks again, guys. We appreciate you joining us. Our first ever international guest here on Guardians and Gladiators.
Awesome.
All right. Lauzie and I will be right back after this.
And welcome back to Guardian and Gladiators. And that was our fantastic first guest we had. Now to our next guest. She's from the University of Western Ontario. Welcome to the show, Jenna Smith.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Jenna. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. We're excited to have you on with us this week.
Thanks for having me and letting me share what we've been up to with Unified. I'm super excited.
Good. It actually worked out really well this week. The guests we just had on before you are actually from Colorado in the USA. Yeah, we're going international with our show now. Yeah. Just in case you didn't know, if you thought this was just a piddly little podcast, this is actually big time that you're on.
You guys are a big deal.
Awesome. Well, between ourselves, we are, anyways. Anyway, we were speaking with a friend of mine, Dan, and his son Logan, and Logan is an athlete in Colorado, and Logan was talking to us about the sports that he's involved in. Almost every sport that Logan plays is a unified sport. And they were saying in the past probably 10 years or so that unified has really become a big thing in the States. And I remember hearing that at different international conferences we've been at, that it's been building and building down there. And we're a little behind here, but it sounds like we're starting to catch up a bit. And the unified aspect of Special Olympics is really becoming a big thing around here.
Yeah, it's something that I hadn't actually heard about unified until I believe it was June 2018. I was at a campus recreation conference at the University of Guelph, and Chris Mihak, who I'm sure you're both very familiar with, had a booth there with some Special Olympic athletes who were sharing what unified was. And it was one of those things where I heard it and instantly I said, we need to do this at Western. This is something that's going to be a priority because there's so many benefits that come with the program. And, you know, as you mentioned, we're a little bit behind the States and the program that they're offering. But while we're behind, we're really trying to push for this because there's so many benefits. And for me, bringing together post-secondary students and the learning that they get from the experiential learning opportunities and working with the special population, but also the Special Olympic athletes who now get to continue on programs with people their age, especially leaving high school when those programs kind of end and they just have the Special Olympic leagues. We want to be able to continue that. And I know one mom said to me, they're just kind of on the couch. We want to get them off the couch. We want to get them involved. We want to get them socialized with people their age and just have fun. So yeah, since day one, it's definitely been a very big part of my heart and continues to be to this day.
Nice.
Why did you decide to start up unified programs at Western?
That's a great question, Chris. And I would say it's people like you, the people who show up 100% with the biggest smiles on their faces, who make the world a better place and just allow us to kind of take a step back and appreciate where we are in the programs we're running. So for me, hearing the Special Olympic athletes share their experience working with the post-secondary students and being able to be part of the same team and feeling included. I think we all look to feel included in life and to be a part of something. And this to me really defines that. So from an academic standpoint, at that point, I was doing my master's in adult education, and I'm seeing all of these red lights and flashing lights and flags going off saying, this is perfect. So for us, pairing up with kinesiology, with disability studies, with Althouse for the Teachers College, it just really made sense from an academic standpoint of being able to offer experiential learning opportunities, saying, come and join this program, learn how to work with other peoples, learn how to adapt your programming, how to adapt your communication styles was a big thing, but also knowing that we're going to introduce Special Olympic athletes to the university setting, to be part of campus, to be involved in their program. So it was a big win from day one. And yeah, I absolutely couldn't imagine a better program that we could have introduced, because yeah, I truly love it more than you know.
Now, the students who take part in this, is this all volunteer for them?
Yeah, it's absolutely volunteer, and that's how we kind of market it to them, is the ability to put it on their resume or on any applications, that they're getting real life experience for things, whether it's physiotherapy, that they're looking to go into, whether it's teaching, whether it's disability studies, they're truly getting that real life situation. So when you're going into an interview question, you can say, here's what I've done and here's what I've learned, or here's some kind of adaptations I've had to make. And I understand that not the same approach applies to everyone I'm going to be dealing with in different settings. So it definitely was a very, big focus for us when introducing the program, was to be able to just kind of share the learning that they'll be able to take away.
Right. Now, do you have trouble getting them, or are you getting a lot of volunteers?
I'd say at the beginning, it was a bit of a hard point because students didn't know what it was, right? Like University of Toronto did one team and that's kind of all we had. Here I'm showing up saying, we're doing this, it's going to be so great. And they're like, but what is it? So for us, it was something where we knew that first tournament we held, it was going to be a one-day tournament to determine, is there going to be interest from the students and is there going to be an interest from the community, the Special Olympics community? And from there, we've had people, I know I listened to one of your podcasts, Sarah's been with our program since day one and continues to be involved. And I think we've had people from the November 2018 tournament that are still with us today, and they've graduated. They still find ways to get involved. So word gets out and then we get them and we keep them, which is awesome.
Great.
So tell me about the Western Unified team experience at the University and College Championship Games in Toronto of May 2019. I was there with our floor hockey team for our provincial games.
Oh, amazing. Congrats.
Yeah.
That was awesome. For us, it was one of those, it kind of came with a few different folds of, number one, we got to be able to highlight our unified athletes who have been there since day one and give them a different opportunity to say, you've been so dedicated, we want you to kind of learn more and really see what unified program's all about. So it kind of came from that side. And then also being able to take the Special Olympic athletes with us and to watch them kind of feel part of a team and be on that group side. It was an amazing experience. I actually went through as a VIP program where I was able to go see in different programs. So I went to all of our games and supported our team, but then I was able to kind of go and see the different sports and see how we could kind of integrate it back into campus. We started with basketball, but it's totally opened my eyes. We want to do potentially bocce ball, bring back some soccer, and look at how our programs can be more accessible. Basketball is not a sport for everybody. So what can we do in our community? And through those games, it really opened our eyes. And I think it lit some more fires for us of wanting to really grow the program.
Right.
What about thinking about bringing golf? I saw the unified golf when I went down to South Carolina with Team Canada in 2015.
Well, here's the thing. If you have an endless supply of golf balls for me, I will do it. But I lose more golf balls than I go. So we're going to have to talk about that.
Nice. Jenna, when COVID hit, obviously it affected everybody, and it affected the Special Olympics community with their sports. Now, I know with you guys, it had an effect on the in-person stuff, but you guys made a switch online real quick, didn't you?
We did. And again, that's just kind of, I think that's where our passion shows for what we do. It was something, to me, that was incredibly important. I think through the pandemic, we all struggled with that social connectedness and, you know, truly that routine and feeling that we had something to do or people to kind of check in with. And I knew that Unified was going to be a program we had to continue because of our SO athletes who were involved, and knowing all their in-person programs were stopping is what can we do and how can we make this successful? So I'm going to say it probably was about a 2-week turnaround where we went fully virtual. And I think a lot of people were like, what is Zoom? How is this going to work? I even offered a training session with some parents to introduce them to Zoom and how they could get their athletes on. So we went full on and it actually stopped at the beginning of the year. And it's just because I had to reopen the facility, and it just was something that unfortunately took a back burner. But our program went from in-person basketball to a weekly Tuesday night session where we had dance parties, we did arts and crafts, we did baking and nutrition sessions, we did trivia, we did holiday parties, we did some sports skills. And it was something where we knew basketball couldn't be covered every week. So let's kind of open it up and see what some of the athletes wanted to do. Our Unified partners led some of the sessions. And it was just nice because we would even start the session by breaking out to rooms and they could just check in. You know, how's your weekend? What movies did you watch? Did you, make any snacks? And it was a good way for our SO athletes to still feel that connection with our students. And that was important because we didn't, none of us knew how long the pandemic was going to go, but the longer it went, the more we felt they would feel disconnected. So for us, we could keep them involved in the program and, those friendships still evolving so that when the program went back in person, things would just carry on and those friendships would continue. So right now, unfortunately, we can't have any external users on campus. So what we've been doing is inviting them to our varsity games. So we invited them to the varsity football game. Last Friday, we did a basketball game. So little ways, and we're hoping come January, we can kind of continue the amazing program. But yeah, virtual was definitely a great kind of interim to still see those amazing faces.
Good for you. Good for you. That's really important to them. And the fact that it happened so quick was excellent.
Yeah, it was great. And then what we were able to do then is I actually offered some training for Special Olympics London and being able to introduce the other coaches to what we were doing and being able to encourage them to try something different because we saw the need in the community. So it was great that we could also connect outside of London, of Western, and reach out to those coaches as well.
Right.
Are there any plans to expand the Unified program?
Well, now the golf's on my list. I gotta figure that out. As mentioned, yeah, we're definitely going to look at some different sports because I don't want any barriers to participation if we're running a program. So we've heard a lot of feedback about soccer from those participants, and then also looking at potentially bocce ball as one. We've had some parents who were very generous, and as well, we did a polar plunge fundraiser in February as well from our team, and we gathered some funds there. So it's going to allow us to purchase some equipment to be able to, expand the program. Golf clubs we'll have to talk about.
Well, you just mentioned polar plunge, and you can bet that when our polar plunge comes back this year, which it will, we're looking at another in-person one back again this year. So we will be in touch with you, and you can get the word out to your people because we want to make, obviously, everything that we get going again, we want to make it bigger and better than we've ever had before because we've all been waiting. So Jenna, before I let you go, I just want to know for any Special Olympic athletes or family or friends of athletes out there that happen to be listening, how do they get involved in this? What do they need to know to get involved in your Unified program?
Great question. We'd absolutely love to have more participants involved for sure. So right now, what I'd recommend is to email me, Jenna, which is jsmit575@uwo.ca. Again, that's jsmit575@uwo.ca. They can reach out, express their interest. I'd be more than happy to chat with them and let them know when registration opens. We actually are going to be hosting a holiday party soon. So you're the first to hear that. None of our SO athletes have got that information, so hot off the press. But just to kind of reconnect. So if we have some new faces that want to get involved, we'd love to include them in that so they can get to know the group before we return in person.
Excellent. Excellent. Wow, that sounds great. Something to look forward to, not only in the future getting back in person, but the near future with the holiday parties coming up. Great.
Yeah.
And if you both are interested, we can definitely invite you to the party.
You kidding? I have my my ho 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 shirt all
I'm
ready
in.
to go.
Awesome. Consider it done.
For sure. I don't know how we get the virtual treats though. How do you get to eat those? I guess you have to make our own then. All right.
Yeah.
Lauzie, you make it. I'll come pick them up once you've made them. How's that?
Okay.
Sound good? Okay. Jenna, thanks very much for taking the time this week to speak with us. It's great. It's nice to learn of the different things that are available for the athletes out there. And for those that aren't aware of it, hopefully they get in touch with you and can reap the benefits of the unified program, because I think, as we've talked about, I think it's something that's just going to get bigger and better as we move forward.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for highlighting it. I really appreciate your time.
No problem. All right.
you.
Lauzie and I will be right back after this to wrap up.
And welcome back to Guardians and Gladiators. Wow, another fantastic guest we just had, wasn't it?
Oh, this international road trip that we've been on this week I'm exhausted. I don't know about you. Maybe it's the time change. What do you think?
I think so. I think so.
We have a little bit of jet lag, don't we? We had to fly all the way back from Colorado just to get a hold of Jen back here in London, and I'm exhausted. Oh, that was great.
What a trip.
It sure was. What a great episode. So nice to speak with Dan and Logan. It's nice to get that perspective from the US. And as they mentioned about the unified, definitely a big thing that is only going to get bigger here with people like Jenna that's, pushing and pushing, and I can see it just taking off. And I know there's a lot of coaches right now that are already Western students, aren't there?
Oh yeah, we got a few on our hockey team.
Yeah. So obviously having things like this taking place at the university, you're not only getting people out for those events, but it's leading into the rest of their life, and they're becoming volunteers away from school as well. So, I mean, that's just good news, isn't it? There's nothing bad about that. It just gets better and better.
It's all good. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, speaking of all good, our episode has been all good. I think we've had some great guests. It's been a good week. And already looking forward to next week.
Oh yes. I'm always excited waiting. Wait till all the weeks after we're done.
Yeah, it's as soon as this one's done, you're already looking forward to the next one. That's great. As long as our listeners are too, we hope that everybody enjoyed listening to us this week. And we will be back next week with some more great guests for you and some more great information on Special Olympics.
Until next week, folks, have a good week.